Now, if you are the black sheep or the scapegoat of your family and you have awakened to the dysfunction of what has been happening in your family behind the scenes, you finally see it for what it is, you're going to do a few things for me. What you're going to do is going to depend on you, but I will have some recommendations that you need to understand. It is what it is. It is just what it is. Okay? You have seen it, you cannot unsee it, and there's no going back. Um, Very important to understand that you did not create this dysfunction. You have been an active participant in that family dysfunction. You did not create it. It has been happening for generations, and there's simply nothing you can do. But the fact that you're the one that has been able to see, to look beyond the veil, beyond the illusion, you now understand your parents, you understand your family members, you make sense of the abuse of what has been happening behind the scenes for decades. You need to understand there's nothing you can do, and it's time for you to get away. So it's very important to understand that you are going to embark, you're going to go on a very deep spiritual journey, a healing journey, a journey where you're going to be required to work on traumas, childhood traumas, the wounds, and you're going to start breaking some cycles. Now, you also need to understand that you're going to have to leave people behind. Okay? It is very necessary to leave people behind. It doesn't always mean that in every family where there's abuse and dysfunction, it doesn't necessarily mean that everybody is a bad person. So you can use your intuition, you can use your discernment to understand who can you keep close to you or who do you need to keep contact with. But if you realize finally that there is these members that have been a part of the abuse, I can just assure you and promise you there's nothing you can do, and you're going to leave these people behind. If you do not leave these people behind, you might end up paying the price, okay, because the dysfunction just keeps on getting worse and worse every day. So you start breaking these cycles by, first of all, breaking out of these cycles, getting away. I'm talking about walking away. And you also need to understand that there is no return ticket into a dysfunctional family system. You buy a one-way ticket. It's a single-way ticket out. For the ones who have done these mistakes of swinging back and forth with those families, you know how things have always played out. The abuse will still kick in because I've told you guys in a dysfunctional family matrix, they operate out of dysfunction, and you have been being a scapegoat. You have left behind a very huge gaping hole, and they do not have an alternative source of supply. Your duty is to walk away, and you're going to go there and heal yourself. The black sheep of the family, you do not return. I repeat, you do not return. Again, this is a recommendation. What you're going to choose to do is going to entirely depend on you, but I'm giving a recommendation that you do not return back into a dysfunctional family matrix. The moment you return, they are going to bring you back into that position of being a scapegoat because these people, they need somewhere they can always dump their garbage. They have a lot of issues, personal issues they haven't worked on, and they need somebody as a scapegoat to help them run away from accountability and from their own traumas and stuff. So it is, yes, it is going to be lonely. you are going to hear a lot of smear campaigns. They will go behind your back. They will hold those little meetings and they will start smearing your name, putting all this trash on you. They will continue to scapegoat you even after you leave. The scapegoat will continue even in your absence, but it will not have much of an effect because it is not hitting you directly. You might hear it behind the scenes. You may run into uncles and aunties who may tell you things like, oh, so and so told us this one told us that. Maybe some family members may reach out and they told you that, oh, we had a meeting and they was talking about you and this and stuff like that. But on an energetic level, it is not hitting you directly because you are not there to absorb all that BS that they're going through and they're putting on your name. So there's no reason for you to start defending yourself. It is not your responsibility to defend yourself against dysfunction. Let them continue with that dysfunction because at the end of the day, you're going to realize that dysfunction is eating them alive, it is breaking them down, and the whole entire family system is in a mess. So, again, you also need to understand that they will always try to think you are the one that is causing disruption, you're the one that is challenging the status quo. So, eventually, they all think you're the one who is causing these problems in that family. So, again, it comes back to running away from accountability because they don't want to look at themselves in the mirror. So by you walking away, it is like you're trying to push them to look within themselves and to understand that this dysfunction has been happening and they have all tried to take it as acceptable. But it is not acceptable. Dysfunction is dysfunction, abuse is abuse. So as a cycle breaker, like I've said, it's going to be lonely. It will be lonely. You're going to go through a lot of emotions because this is the family that you've always known. They're the people that you've always known. You haven't known anybody else outside of your family. So you're going to start walking a very lonely path so that you can be able to heal and recover from this abuse. And as the time goes on, you realize that you're starting to get yourself back together. You're starting to build yourself back together. You may discover that you've healed. You're finding purpose. You're finding other families. So it doesn't always mean that because people are your blood family, it doesn't mean that they will always be blood family, whether you are there or not. They will always be blood family. But the real family that has got your back is not the family in the household. The real family that has got your back is not the family you're leaving behind. The family you're leaving behind is dysfunctional. The more you engage, the more they will abuse and the more they're going to destroy you. You go out there, work on yourself, heal, and you are going to run into the family that values you. There will be people that start gravitating towards you who are most likely in your experience or gone through a similar situation and they understand. They can speak your language. They could also have awakened the same way that you have done. And you also need to understand that as a cycle breaker, the cycles you're trying to break, they don't want to be broken because these are generational cycles. These are cycles that have been happening for decades and decades. It has been a repeated, they just keep on going through generation after generation. They have just been keeping on going through those similar cycles. So those cycles are spiritual cycles. And something that is spiritual, it is something that is there forever unless a person stands up and decides to say no. Your very first step to breaking the cycle is to say no to dysfunction, and you have the guts and ability to walk out of it. Behind the scenes, these people will now have a clear understanding. Although, again, it all comes down to accountability. They will not come out in the open to acknowledge accountability for the dysfunction that has been going on, but they know somewhere in the deep of their minds there is something that needs to be addressed, although they do not know how to address it, and they do not have the guts to walk away the same way that you do. So keep your guards up, ladies and gentlemen, my chosen ones, black sheep of the family, the scapegoats. Keep your guards up. Have the guts to walk away. Lonely process, yes. Isolation, yes. Healing, yes. It has got to be done, but it's all for the better, and you will realize that you have done the most powerful thing you've ever decided to do in your entire life by getting away and walking away from dysfunction. So let us know what you think about this video. You guys know I do love and appreciate your support. Please book a session if you want to. You may donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need You will find it in the description below. And until then, I will catch you guys in my next one. Denzam was signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.